What is going on, everybody? Thanks for joining tonight. And tonight's Turkey Tuesday. So, got to thinking about what I wanted to do for this weekend. And lo and behold, some turkey stuff popped up. Started getting a couple of newish bottles to me. So, the Wild Turkey is this a 70th? Thanks to Wade Ward. He hooked me up with this bottle. Marty was nice enough. Marty Whiskey Nose was nice enough to get one of the 8 years for me. So tonight's a little bit of a pre-sampling to doing some reviews. So I figured what better way to figure out what some of the profiles are on these than to just kind of hit them in a blind. So love to do blinds, and it's there's really no better way to figure things out oftentimes than with a good old blind. But thanks everybody for joining tonight. Greatly appreciate it as always. So first in, as always, it's kind of taken over for Sugar Kitty. Top Dog is now the top dog. So John, good to see you. There's my buddy Top Jimmy. Good to see you, buddy. Appreciate that. Mr. Randall Erickson, good to see you as well. So what else we got here? Top Jimmy in there again. Marty Party right there. Whiskey Nose. Thanks for getting the 8 year for me. Appreciate that very much. Yeah, looking forward to tonight's blind quite a bit. So, and I was kind of thinking, like, man, this is going to be some interesting stuff. The proof points aren't, way off. I mean, obviously these three are very close. Well, really four of the five are all pretty much exactly the same, except for the Russells being about, what is that, 8.5 proof points higher. So hopefully it won't stand out too much and skew it one way or the other, but I don't think it will. So we'll see. So Randall says, looking forward to this, my bourbon journey. I think Top Jimmy has already done this flight, but he didn't publish it. All right. Well, that'll be interesting to kind of hear how that ultimately turned out. So this will be an interesting flight, and I'm sure quite a few people have done it, as long as they can get, a couple of these. It's a really interesting, I think a fun flight to do tonight. So Mr. Roger Reese, good to see you, Raj. Wild Turkey. Yeah, I don't have the Wild Turkey 12, but that one would have been. I was talking to Marty a little bit and trying to figure out another one. And I thought throwing the Russell's 10 in there, but I didn't know if that would be too soft. Like that might be a little bit too light for some of these. So I'd rather bump the proof up a little bit and kind of let some of that take over versus it being kind of really too standoutish for the most part. So we'll see what happens with that. So, what else we got here? There's Tom, the Bourbon Jerk. Good to see you, buddy. Appreciate you jumping in here tonight. Mr. Franchi, good to see you, buddy. Howdy, hey, y'all. How's it going? World's worst bourbon channel. Thanks for jumping in, buddy. Joey B, good to see you, buddy. Appreciate it, man. Let's see what else we got here. Let's see if there's any other questions. There's the boss herself. Look at this guy. Katie, thank you. Thanks for jumping in there, Katie. Appreciate it. Tell the big man I say hi as well. What else we got here? I think that's it right now. So we'll jump into it. So I started out with to try a little bit of a controlled pour, and it was a little bit of the Knob Creek 9 year, and there was something that was just not tasting right about it. And I just kind of stopped. I don't know what it was about it, but there was something that just kind of came across as, I don't know, a little bit almost like semi off-putting. I don't know what it was, but I didn't want that on my palate. So what's up, Joe? Good to see you, buddy. Nicholas, good to see you as well, too. So gobble, gobble. Yes, sir. So anyway, I just stopped with that and stuck with good old water. We're good. I had a couple sips of the 9 year trying to figure out what in the world it was, but I don't know. There was just something that was not right about it. So, but anyway, yes, water's a good thing. So let's see. Hydrate. Yes, exactly. Working on the hydration. That's for sure tonight. So we'll see. But yeah, should be a good flight tonight. So drop a comment. Let me know before we go any further. Hit the old thumbs up button if you haven't already. Helps me out quite a bit. I appreciate it. And then, yeah, leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys are sipping on tonight. Hopefully, maybe some Wild Turkey, or if you're doing the flight along with me, let me know. I'll be interested to to hear your thoughts on some of those. So, and I know Top Jimmy had done this one. I'll be interested. Maybe don't put it in now, but I'll be interested to hear how your flight kind of ended up. I don't really honestly even know. And this is going to be my first time actually having the 70th. I might have had a sample, but I don't remember if I had a sample of the 70th. I had a little bit of the 8-year the other night over by my dad. Obviously, we got the 101. This is a bottle I just had downstairs. It's only been open for a little while, but I threw that one in there. It's not one that's been sitting around very long. There's not much left that's in there. I don't think it's had really a chance to oxidize that much, so we should be okay there. Russell Single Barrel right here, and then obviously Kentucky Spirit, which I don't know, man. This one could ultimately be a sneaky one. So I'm interested, very, very interested to see how this is all going to shake out. So Tommy D, how's it going, my brother? What else we got? Mr. Whack, how's it going, buddy? Thanks for jumping in tonight. Frankie, good to see you as well. So let's see what else we got. Josh Combe, how you doing, Josh? Good to see you, buddy. Let's see. I think that might be it right now. Hopefully I didn't miss anybody, but all right, so let's get going on this thing. So again, like I said, so obviously all the Wild Turkey, all these, well, 101 here and 110 here. So shouldn't be too bad. So yeah, anybody pick up anything new recently? I've had a chance to so Jay from Shared Pour, I got the bottle over there, but I should have brought it over. But anyway, he started his own label called the Reveries, and I'll tell you what, he's gotten working with some amazing barrels. So if you guys see while you're kind of doing some looking there on the interwebs, if you see something called Reveries, the Raven, that's all Jay from Shared Pour stuff. So I know you guys know we do a lot of work through them with the club and everything like that. But he's doing some amazing things there as well. Just trying to think of some other stuff that I did a review of recently. A friend locally gave me one of the 2XO, one of those that was a double oak that I was able to do a review of. Just got to get that edited. Same thing with a Penelope American Light Whiskey. So looking forward to releasing that one as well. A couple of surprising bottles. So just released a video today. So if you haven't checked it out, shameless plug, get over there and check that out. Leave a thumbs up, all that good jazz as well. What else? So let's see. I'm trying to think of anything else. The Silver Grove, those 2025s, those have both been released, and I've got videos out of those. I'll tell you what New Riff has done with those, in my opinion, it's maybe, I don't know, and dare I say the best two whiskeys that I've had through or from New Riff have maybe been that kind of specialty or distillery only release. And I'll tell you what, that Silver Grove, the 2025, the bourbon and the rye, they're really, really fantastic whiskeys. So if you guys can get over there, if they have them still, I would highly encourage you to maybe not wait too much longer if you're going to snack one of those things up. So they're really, really fantastic whiskeys. They just drink, even at that, they're age stated as 4 years old, but obviously that's the minimum age of the blend. So there could be some older stuff, but the interesting part about those is the fact that they are pulling those barrels only for those releases from the upper two floors of the rick. So, you should theoretically have whiskeys that are probably a little bit more influenced by the barrel. So maybe a little bit richer, again, a little more barrel influence, generally speaking, but they're really, really fantastic whiskeys, and at $55, Jeffrey knows, he's right over there, in Cincinnati area as well. So it is very, I know everybody wishes they'd probably stop with it, but it's a pretty darn fantastic release. So as of right now, for the next hour, I'll stop talking about it, Jeffrey. Let's see what else we got here. Mr. Wayne Arnold, good to see you, Wayne. All right, so let's dive into this thing. I know you guys probably heard one more quick kind of bourbon story, but the distillery, I think it's called Gerard or Gerard, something like that, that have basically had to file for bankruptcy. I think they had released a few things, have some rick houses, some barrels loaded in the rick houses. There was some talk about them maybe having worked with like Blue Run and storing things, and it's a whole big deal. They had hired Lisa Wicker as their head distiller, and I don't even know if she ever even got an opportunity to do anything there. But with everything that they're that's going on in the whiskey world, that was a big hammer to drop with that whole deal. And I believe they're out in like Lexington or something like that general area. But when you hear of something that's, I don't know, 250 some $1 million or whatever it was, kind of now through bankruptcy, it's a big deal. So that's for sure. So you never like to see any of that kind of stuff. And hopefully things will, before too much longer, really start to kind of rebound in a good way. I mean, I feel like our community for the most part, is, I don't want to say not affected, but it feels like somehow we're like either doing our best to like maintain and continue on and, still enjoy a lot of different whiskeys. So, I like to see that. And, I think it's just a testament to a lot of you for kind of just, doing your part, so to speak, within the community. So anyway, all right. So let's get going on this thing, and we'll see who the winner is tonight. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all of them labeled A, B, C, D, E. So I learned my lesson last week doing numbers on numbers. It wasn't working very well. So this time we're going to do letters. So once I move them around, I've got a little handy, kind of, I don't want to say key, but what was written down on the piece of paper over there with all the answers for what's in each glass tonight. So they got poured, everything got shuffled around, and I have absolutely no idea. I know exactly what's in all the glasses. I just don't know what's in what order. So anyway, let's dive into this thing and see what turkey comes out on top tonight. So CPA Whiskey, good to see you. Appreciate it. Aged in Oak, good to see you as well. Appreciate it, buddy. Thanks for jumping in. Oh, there's the lurker. I think he's kind of like the bat signal got sent out. So once somebody starts talking about turkey, all signals pop up. So, all right, let's hit this thing, and we'll get into tonight's blind flight. So looking forward to this. Actually, I'm taking a few notes. I got a little book here, so I can jot down what the name of the glass is and maybe how things are kind of popping on this one. So, all right. Like the nose so far for sure. Kind of a rich, almost like a baker's chocolate, like right away. It's just a very, dare you say like tried and true. I mean, it is just an incredible brand, of course, but again, we're talking about all probably really, really good whiskeys. Maybe the 101, fine for sipping cocktails is mostly what I use it for, but it'll be really, really interesting to see how the 70th and the 8-year kind of come out in the deal. I'll say this: when I tried it for the first time the other night at my dad's, the 8-year, I thought it was pretty darn good. I got a lot of like kind of orange creamsicle on it, which was really nice, and it was standing out. It was standing out really, really well. So, but we'll see how the Russell Single Barrel, and definitely the Kentucky Spirit. It's an super underrated, I'll say, bottle from Kentucky or from Wild Turkey. I think it just has, for some reason, people don't seem to gravitate towards that. Maybe for the price point, they feel they can get the Wild Turkey 101 and be kind of, in the, I don't know. Maybe it's just what it is for whatever, 50 or $55 or what they are. Again, maybe people aren't willing to spend that kind of price, that kind of money on a 101 proof bourbon. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but Hmm. Interesting. All right. Yeah, I mean, it's a bright nose. I mean, again, very heavy, like caramel, maybe a touch of like a nutty characteristic. Lots of almost a little bit of a cherry, nice leather notes. Man, really nice nose. Kind of a rich nose. Decent color, good oils. I don't know if you can see that on the glass or not, but thanks, Jimmy. Appreciate that, buddy. Thank you very much. Gifted 5. Oh boy, now you got the big decision on who you're going to gift these memberships to. So, oh boy. Good luck with that one with this bunch. So, yeah, maybe even a little bit of a leathery kind of a leathery note on this one. All right, I'm gonna get into this and see kick this one off and see what this is all about. Cheers, guys. Thanks for everybody for joining tonight. Yeah, again, a little orangey, really nice spice to it so far. Fair amount of heat behind it. Again, I had that little controlled pour, but not much of it. So we'll see if the heat part of it starts to kind of wear down a little bit. Maybe a little hint of a nuttiness there. This is one kind of like interesting note. I don't know if there's like it's almost coming across as like this like a slate like cherry bubble gum or something that's kind of there. Hmm. Yeah, pretty darn rich, I have to say. Kind of digging that one so far. So again, there is no loser in this whole group tonight. So these are all going to be individually fantastic pours, on their own. But we'll see exactly how it all kind of shakes out. So it'll be interesting. So there's always the debate for me whether or not I want to have water in between, whether or not I want as much of an influence from the prior sip onto the next. But I don't know, with a blind flight, I guess if I can somehow make it as neutral as possible without a bunch of influence, I guess that's probably how I would try to do it. So I don't know if there's really any right or wrong way. I guess at the end of the day, do it whatever works. So well, there'll be 5 other happy candidates after Top Jimmy gifting some memberships to people tonight. That was pretty awesome of you. Thanks, buddy. All right, so this feels a little bit more kind of oak, a little more oak forward. And maybe even on the nose, it feels a little bit sharper. Like there's a little hint of like an ethanol on this one. Hmm. Doesn't seem to be as much. More maybe kind of like again, those vanillas, caramels, things like that. A little bit on the lighter side. Yeah, it's definitely kind of coming across as just a little sharper, like from an ethanol standpoint. Hmm. Oh, very nice color on it though. All right, let's see what this one's going to give us. It'll be interesting to see how these all kind of shake out tonight. So, hmm, man, maybe some more citrus on this one as well. But so I'll say definitely more of an oak influence. It feels like there is. It feels like I don't know. It just feels a little more oak influence on this one. Doesn't feel like on the palate. It doesn't. it's not coming across as more proofy or anything along those lines. But yeah, it's kind of interesting how this one is. I'm gonna try to go through the first 5 a little bit quicker and then kind of go back through and then make a decision. But yeah, this feels a little bit more kind of a little more oak forward so far. So we'll see, and then I'll do a ranking. So hmm. Yeah, again, really, really heavy, like very heavy, like kind of really fresh caramel on this one, to be honest. It's like very much in the forefront. A little bit softer than this, maybe more in line with this than number 2. But yeah, more of that kind of again, very just tried and true, much of that vanilla caramel. Maybe like a softer leather. Not getting like a ton yet, but and I did let these probably sit out, and for a good prior to pouring them, a good 20 minutes. So they've had a chance to get a little air. So yeah, Josh, the rare breed for me was probably one of those ones that I don't know. There's something that's very distinct about it. So I thought about it whether or not I wanted to do that or the Russells, but I just stuck with the Russells. I thought it was just maybe a little bit more of a fair comparison. I wanted it to not necessarily stand out as much, but you know, you could have gone like a couple of different ways. So, all right, let's give this one a try and see how this one. And I mean, nice oils on the glass, so I do like that. But maybe a little, maybe a little softer. I would say it maybe feels like it's the softest so far of the three, just from tasting the first two. That maybe feels like the most subdued one, if that makes any sense. Still nice. I mean, it's still a nice sipping bourbon, whatever that is. But somehow it feels a little bit softer right now. So yeah, it's gonna be very, very interesting. I think once I go through these and start to kind of work my way back, I'll get a better sense. Once they really kind of hit the palate a little bit harder, that will I think things will start to set in a little bit more. So all right. And I'm trying to not like pay too much attention to the color. I mean, it's hard not to because it's something I and I think a lot of other people like to do. But this one's got a really nice color to it as well. Hmm. Yeah. See now again, now you're starting to kind of get a little bit more ramped up in that kind of oak profile. And it's something I really love when you start getting that in some of the turkey or just, bourbons in general. But I love when there's a nice, not only that sweetness that it has, but when you really introduce like just a good oak layer to it and you've got that really nice balance of the two. Yeah, this definitely feels a little bit more on the nose. Feels like there's maybe a little more like ethanol behind this one. Hmm. Smells a little bit richer, like it's just a little like there's just a little bit more to it. Not yet, not yet. I'll go back through, and that's when I'll start to probably take some notes. So ultimately, at the end of the day, I'll just choose which ones I like to that I enjoy most taste wise. Hmm. Yeah, so because you do get those like kind of soft, those like really nice rich oak kind of profile. So we'll see what this one gives us. Hmm. Maybe the richest of all of them so far. Feels really, really nice, velvety. Just man, it sits on the palate really, really well. That's a nice little bourbon right there. All nice, but that probably stands out the most. Um, um, hmm. Yeah, it just has this richness, this overall richness to it. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's the Russells. It just feels a little bit more developed at this point. So once I get through this one, I'll kind of go back and we'll start to kind of break these things down a little bit more and get a better sense of where these are all going to kind of rank. Hmm. Boy, that's nice too. Yeah, a little more. I think this is where a little bit more of that kind of cherry fruit layer is starting to come out in this glass here. No, no rare breed in this one, Eric. It was kinda between that and the Russells, and I wanted to kinda stick with something that was a little bit maybe closer in proof rather than it being too dominant, and Rare Breed does kinda come across as a little bit different, so I didn't want it to quite stand out nearly as much, so yeah, nice nose. I'll say on this is feeling a little bit more like orangesicle, a little bit more orange, a little more vanilla. Like, it was giving me a little bit of that feel like I got from the Wild Turkey 8-year the other night. Hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's a nice nose so far, but let's see what we got on the palate. See, yeah, it's a nice, really, really nice whiskey. Man, it just reminds me of that 8-year, that Wild Turkey 8-year I had the other night. It was just very much, and I don't know for you guys if orange is oftentimes something you pick up in Wild Turkey, but I'll say there's usually some citrus layer that's there, but this was very, very. I'll put Jack Glass. Orange vanilla. Yeah, there's just something about that is giving me more of that kind of Wild Turkey 8-year. I'm kind of interested to see where the 70th anniversary is going to be because I was chatting with Jason today, and I thought he had mentioned there were maybe like 8 and 9-year-old bourbons blended within that 70th. Um, and again, for Jimmy Russell, I mean, his palate is very obviously developed, but it's simple at the same time. Where he just oftentimes will allude to vanillas and caramels and things like that. So you don't get a bunch of crazy tasting notes. I think he just knows exactly what it is he enjoys, and I think oftentimes it's just that very straightforward, tried and true, type of bourbon profile. So, that's definitely in here, but we'll see. We'll see with how it all shakes out, and it will be interesting to see again how it all because I don't really have a frame of reference for the 70th. If I did have a sample, it was a while ago. So I've only had this bottle for a little while. It's only been physically opened for um I don't know, a few days. It's not been that long. So we'll see how that goes. But man, so far, yeah, I got to write down what glasses they are. So let's see, holiday. Then I can kind of write down some notes as I'm going. And what's this one? Let's show proper. Okay. All right. So that'll give me a good idea. So baseline, pretty good. But yeah, so far the Jack Daniels glass, man, that was a lot of that orange, very reminiscent of what I kind of tasted the other night. Whether it's that, I don't know. But the other thing I liked about it a lot was, in addition to the proof point being like pretty spot on, the the mouthfeel was really nice. Watch this thing probably be like Wild Turkey 101 or something. I'd look like an idiot. But um so that's interesting, Popham. How's it going, Troy? Good to see you, brother. Um that would be interesting. I was told a good source that the 70th is the OG 101 recipe as well before Campari bought them and changed it. Don't know if I'm on. That'd be very, very interesting. Hmm. That's pretty interesting. So, I don't know. Food for thought right there. That's for sure. All right. So let's see. I got the Jack Daniel Heavy Orange Vanilla. Okay. Let's see. Birdstown. Yeah, this was the one I had written down. Just it that has that richness behind it. There's just that kind of big, heavy richness that's there. More oak influence. Again, very much of those kind of tried and true flavors, but it just feels very, very developed. So put in the comments now. We're kind of almost halfway through. Put in the comments how you think the order will be in terms of my first through fifth. And when I do the reveal, I'll do 5 through 1. Obviously, my first one being the one I enjoyed the most. But well, I'll do it 5 through 1. But you can put it, in terms of which one you think I'll have in my first, second, third, fourth, fifth. So it'll be interesting to see kind of how it all shakes out. So man, I really like 5 and 4 in that order so far. Um, they have a very distinct like either richness or flavor profile to them, like right away. So it'll be kind of interesting. Richie, how's it going, brother? Good to see you. Thanks for popping on. Yeah, the Russells is a pick. I don't know which one it was. I grabbed it, but I didn't even look. I knew it's not just a shelfer. I know that. So all right, let's try the holiday one. See what we've got here. Yeah, more kind of maybe some honey or sweet tea notes kind of on this one. I thought this was the one that was kind of maybe a little bit more subdued. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. These blinds are always they're always very interesting, that's for sure. Man, 70th, a lot of 70th. All right. That'll be interesting to see kind of how that thing shakes out. So a little more kind of like a cherry influence on that. I don't want to say it feels softer or anything like that, but it maybe feels um like I don't know, maybe just a little more subdued. It's very nice, but I'm not like getting a ton from that one yet. So I don't know. I so badly want the one to be in fifth place, the Wild Turkey 101. I just just from like from a personal standpoint, I don't want that one to finish ahead of any of these others. So I don't know if that'd be a good thing or not, but all right, nose much nicer on this Barrel King glass right here. Definitely, again, more just a richer nose. It just feels a little bit more developed. I know I've said that with a couple of them, but I mean, it's a nice nose. Hmm. Almost feels a little bit more not only barrel influence, but a little bit more um I don't want to say herbal, but there's a little bit more spice, a little bit more baker spice, peppers, maybe even like a little hint of like a clove, but definitely more of a barrel influence, which is something I really, really appreciate. What I should do is just move these around in what place I think I'm going to have them so far, but I'll start to move those around a little bit. I think that one's maybe my fifth place one so far, but we'll see what this class gives us. Man, I mean, honestly, I'll tell you what. I mean, they are all very, very good, and I'll say this: they're very, very close. Like, I mean, I think that's a good thing. Like when you've got these kinds of whiskeys and considering ages and just a regular standard 101, there's some very, very nice whiskeys in here. So I mean, I wouldn't be I don't think you could shake a stick at any of these. They're all very, very good pours. That's for sure. So I don't know. It's gonna be very, very close. Kind of splitting hairs a little bit. Yeah, this one feels a little bit softer, like really nice kind of vanilla notes, but just a little bit softer, less going on the nose. Maybe it feels a little bit more standardish so far on the nose, anyway. Yeah, probably a little, a little flatter. Nice spice to it, but it feels almost like less proofy. Um, and I don't know if that's just the regular 101, but it's just coming across as just a little bit flatter for the most part. So, hmm, man, this is gonna be really tough. For some reason, I thought this would be a little bit easier. I don't know why I thought it'd be easier, but it sure just gives you a good perspective when you're tasting through a brand like this, how relatively consistent they are. Obviously, we're not mixing in 13 and 15 and all these other kind of crazy releases. I think the 8 year eventually, if I'm not mistaken, is going to be something that's relatively standard. I believe for the most part. Obviously, the 70th, won't be. I know that was kind of more of a tribute to Jimmy Russell. 101 you can find anywhere. Russell single barrels. Now this was a pick. Um, and you got a Kentucky Spirit in here as well. So a few really really good whiskeys that are in here. So all right, now I kind of have to figure out three, two, and one. Really nice, nice on the palate. Um, it feels like what this one, this Bardstown, what that one's kind of giving me is a little bit of a feel of there being some age behind it that's just kind of been proofed down. And when I say that, I'm thinking like maybe along the lines of like what happens with like a Kentucky Spirit or something like that. But yeah, I don't know if maybe I would switch these two so far. I'd maybe have that third. See what we've got with the Barrel King one. Man. All right, Richie got a little Kentucky Spirit. Man, as far as I'm concerned, just on its own, it's just a little bit of an underrated bourbon, that's for sure. And again, I think really it comes down to that being like the price point, and maybe for a lot of people it's not as readily available. We see it here quite a bit, but for a lot of people, I don't think Kentucky Spirit is overly like readily available. I could be wrong, but I thought that was the case. Man, this is going to be really, really interesting. Really nice nose on this one. Again, more of that kind of, barrel influence. Very like, oh, it smells like rich and decadent. More of that kind of cherry influence, some tobaccos, leathers. It feels just like you've got more age behind this one right now. Yeah, I don't know if it's just a little bit more proofy, more spice behind this one. Even when you swallow like late, there's a little bit more of that like lingering spice factor. I don't know. I mean, nothing is, I mean, including the Russells, I mean, being a little bit proofier, there's nothing there that's jumping out to me from a proof standpoint that is making one more significant than the other. Like if I I was waiting. You got to use these technical bourbon terminology and everything to try to get past the 13-year-old boys that are going to be in the chat. So you can always count on a few of them. So thanks, Troy. I appreciate you taking one for the team tonight, bud. But yes, as Troy says, the late swallow on this one is the man. It just hits really really well. So yeah. It just feels it feels the um it feels the most like well put together, most the most like well balanced is really what that feels like. More spice. If there is one that feels a little bit more proofy, it would be that glass. That's the one that feels a little bit more proofy, a little bit too um it just feels a little bit more like balanced, well put together, things like that. So like everything you kind of want in that kind of wild turkey pour. So I might just leave that one right there. 2 and 3. These could be a toss up here. So actually 2, 3, and 4 could be. I'll taste through those. I think this is number 1 so far, but 2, 3, and 4 kind of in the mix for some flip flopping. That's for sure. So, and there's nothing wrong with that CPA. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Oh man. Yeah, so take it easy, guys. There's a lady in the chat for crying out loud. All right, let's taste. Let's do 4. We'll go 4, 3, 2 again. I think this one's gonna stay there. I'll take a quick sip of that towards the end and just see. But God, I hope that's not. I hope it's not one that I love. Actually, give it a quick little nose. Hmm. Hmm. I don't know. It just kind of feels a little, a little flatter to me as well. Like there's something that's there, but not a ton. Hmm. I mean, it's very good, but there's just I'm kind of like wanting a little bit more to it. Hmm. Let's get a little bit of water here. Yeah, smash that like button. I appreciate it. Man, these blinds would be a hell of a lot easier if I knew what they were. So I would arbitrarily choose which one I like based on the label. That's why the blinds are so fun to do. Takes oh man, it's like you want to make the right decision so badly in your mind. You kind of want it to set up a certain way, but unfortunately, it's just not how it works. And 2, 3, and 4 are kind of the three that I'm struggling the most with in terms of trying to get these into the right order. So yeah, Richie. I mean, there's not like 2, 3, and 4 are they're very, very similar. So, you know, I don't know. I'm just what did I have written down for Jack Daniels? This was the heavy orange. Man, it does have a very, very like heavy orange profile to it. And again, even when I was at my dad's the other night, when I first tried that 8 year, it was one of the things that jumped out like immediately to me was how much of an orange influence there was to it, which is not something I would say that is just a very dominant type of thing that I get from Wild Turkey. Could be some citrus stuff, but that vanilla orange combo was like very, oh, excuse me, very, very in the forefront, very much in the forefront. Could maybe flip flop, 1 and 2 any given night, but depending on if you want one that's a little bit kind of sweeter, this probably has a little more of a sweetness backbone to it than this that just has a little bit more of that straight up, you know, um, richness kind of profile that it has to it. So, all right, let's see what we've got with the Bardstown. Hmm. It's got a great nose to it. Man, maybe I should have poured a bunch more. I'm like running out of this. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. It's been a little while. Thanks for stopping by tonight. Appreciate it. Wayne needs a good reminder once in a while. So sweet Cindy. Well, welcome. And I'm gonna have to go back and try. Like you guys are like all on the 70th. And again, I don't have a lot, like other than maybe other than like a sample a little while ago. I don't have like that in my mind right now. So I don't have a great like reference for it. So if it's there and there's something that's more distinct about it, it's not something that's just jumping out to me right now. So man, that's good too. That again has a little bit more of that darker profile than or that one has as well. So boy, I'm debating whether or not I want to switch 2 and 3 right now. It's not that I like some sweeter whiskeys, but I'm somebody who enjoys more of an oak influence in bourbon. I like it when it balances really, really well with some sweetness and a good finish. Not that I just want like sweet on sweet. I like a good like kind of oaky bourbon. So I'm gonna switch that right now. I don't know. It really depends because like 1 and 2 feel like they're the closest. 3 is really nice. 4 and 5 feel kind of close to each other. 5 maybe feeling the flattest so far. So yeah, I'm like I just eventually what I'll do is I'll go back through. So like tonight, I guess the idea was to kind of go through these and see what was kind of jumping out because what I'm really going to do, I believe on Friday, is do the review of the Wild Turkey 8 year, and I'll probably just use a comparison to the 101. I thought about doing the 70th, and maybe I'll mix that in there. But with this one being, kind of difficult to get, I don't know if it's that fair of a comparison. Like I feel like the fairest comparison would be just the Wild Turkey 101 and then the Wild Turkey 8 year. Like I feel those two are probably the most, I don't want to say similar, but if you're going to compare the two, and with from what I've heard, the 8 year maybe eventually being a standard, kind of Wild Turkey shelf release, that those two would be the comparison. So we'll see how it all shakes out tonight. I don't know if it ultimately will be, but again, they all have this, you know with that oak component there. Again, there is a little bit of that honey sweet tea, kind of aspect to it from the sweetness. Some a little bit more of an orange influence than others, but it's going to be very, very interesting. And I'm really kind of interested now at this point to see where in the world the Kentucky Spirit's going to fall in this whole deal. So yeah, hopefully the 8 year will show up for you pretty soon. I don't know what their like allocation or distribution of that is. I've not even seen it at all in my area, and I wanted to try to get a review of that one done. And I don't even know at this point how many have done because I was when talking with Jason today. I will watch a lot of everybody else's videos, but if I know I'm going to review it and I haven't done it yet, I won't watch that video because I don't want to be influenced by what it is they say, whether they like it or dislike it or whatever it may be. But so I just kind of stay away so I can be basically as subjective as possible without any influence from anybody else. So I don't know. We'll see. But oh boy, I'll tell you. Hmm. What did I see was here? What did Sweet Cindy say? I was only able to get one on the 70th as well. Not a lot in the Chicago northern suburbs. All right. Yeah, oftentimes I'm driving through Chicago quite a bit actually. Hmm. Man, that's pretty nice too, actually. Man, one, two, three, and four. Let's see. Can I switch this one? Man, three and four is like really splitting hairs, to be honest. All fantastic. I like the spice on that. That's one of the things I really enjoy with 3 is that kind of like lingering spice that's there. Man, this is way tougher than I thought. Oh, let's see. CPA says, unfortunately, I have not had either from hunting, but have not seen 70th or 8-year in Southwest Michigan. I think Michigan can be a tough state sometimes. So, well, that's kind of interesting. I thought for sure the 8-year would have been in Kentucky. Guess not. Hmm. I guess for you guys that are finding the 8-year, if you can, put like in the comments, I would be very interested to see where some of the states that you guys are all from or ladies, that whether it's there, yes, it's there, no, it's not, whatever it is, just to see kind of like where some of these things are hitting. So far, we've established it looks like nothing in Michigan yet, but yeah, just put your state if you don't mind, and either yes or no. I'd be interested just to see what and where some of these things are actually hitting. So, all right, let's see what number 5 is. What is it? I heard some like rattling. Man, I like 5. It just got a little bit of sweetness and just not much else after that. There's sweetness, not a lot of spice, not a super long finish. Man, I don't know. I don't know what that is. All right, so Top Jimmy says it's in Lexington. Okay. All right. It is 8, not in Ohio yet. Okay. Marty says North Carolina sometimes gets released. Just let's see, first, just like the 8-year. Okay, that probably explains why you were able to get it. The franchise says Michigan seems to be slow on the distro in the general, so not a surprise. Josh is asking about the private 101. Other than our pick that we did, that was the only time I had anything for the 101. So Richie says Bay Area, California, no signs yet. What do we got from Roger? Got Wild Turkey 8 at John O's in Elizabethtown, Kentucky. All right. look at Roger. He's on it tonight. He's drinking water for sure. So by the time the 8-year comes to Ohio, it'll be 9 or 10 years old. I like that. So gotta love those control states. So you gotta talk to Jason, get those big time channel hookups right there. He'll hook a brother up or something like that. So I like that. All right, foolproof. I have not seen it in Mississippi. All right. Oh, there's Ice. Good to see you, brother, on Nevada, Las Vegas area. Oh, okay. Nevada's got it. Okay. Oh, you also got the 70th. All right. So it looks like Kentucky's kind of coming in hot right now. Josh hasn't seen it yet either. I have a hookup. All right. I don't know if that's whiskey related or what. We'll leave it at that. All right. So let me go back through here and just take a couple of quick sips, and we'll wrap her up and see what kind of order we think we got. Joey's looking for a little Wild Turkey 101 12-year, great bourbon and beautiful packaging. Yeah, that's one thing. It's definitely I think they're about I thought I saw some, like, not that long ago on Shared Pour. I could be wrong, but I thought he was selling I thought Jay had some for that were on his website. Could be wrong, but all right, Buddha. Good old New Jersey in the house. I used to live in Sayreville a lot of years ago, long time ago. Um, so not far from like Parlin, all that kind of stuff. So I don't know where you're from or whatever, but used to be a little bit of a Jersey guy for a few years. Probably what grades would I have been in at that point? So let's see, back in the early 1800s would have been fourth. Probably sixth, seventh, eighth, a little bit of ninth before I moved to Wisconsin. So that would have been probably the mid and late 80s was when I left New Jersey. So, all right, Ethan hasn't seen any in upstate New York. Okay. All right, so it does seem like Kentucky is getting some stuff, but what's wrong? Getting the Rodgers mixed up, I see. So, all right, let me focus here a little bit. So, all right. All right, soft, just vanillas, again, sweet tea, very sweet, a little bit of spice. Not super developed feeling, any of that. Just feels very kind of tried and true. Nothing overly special about that one. So no, not from Canada. Not from Canada. Now I was born where I was born. That's another story. Where I was born was Messina, New York, which is way northern, northeast part, or excuse me, northwest part of New York State. So now that was very close to Canada. So that is kind of true, but don't listen to him. This is what somebody who's got to try 60 samples of whiskey tonight sounds like right there. Or Meeson. Or No, I definitely did wasn't from Moosin, that's for sure. That's for sure. I know that. That's Canada. Yeah, I don't yeah. Molson. I think you guys are talking about Molson, the beer, not Moosin. I don't know, man. 4 and 5, they're just something that's a little bit underwhelming. It's sweet. You know, again, the vanillas, the caramels, sweet tea, honey, those are all there with those. There's just nothing that is very overwhelming. And again, these have both been recently open. This has been open for not that long, but I drank a lot of it, most of it again using for cocktails. This has been open for a little while. Same with this as well. So there's one of these in here that's going to, I'll say, semi disappoint me a little bit. So yes, upstate New York for sure. So this isn't like New York City or anything like that. So this was I was way up north, way up upstate, as Eric mentions. So even though if you look at it, where I am in Wisconsin, which is just a little bit west of Milwaukee, when you draw a line like even across like to the East Coast, we're pretty damn far north. Like I'm not that far from, I mean, I'm hours away, but like I could drive like straight north for the most part, and get to Canada in I'll say, see, 3, maybe 4. Let's just say 5 hours. I could be in Canada in 5 hours. Probably easy. So all right, whatever. You guys keep talking about your moose and Moosehead. Drink a bit. Yeah, I've had some Moosehead. I like 3 a lot. Or whatever this one is. I like the one in the Jack. I lived in Warwick, New York for 24 years. Loved it. I don't know where Warwick is. That feels like a central New York-ish. I don't know why I want to say that, but it feels like it's more central Warwick. Or maybe it's something a little bit just outside the city. I don't know, but it feels kind of central New York-ish to me. New York's a great state. Like people think of I think anytime people think of New York for the most part, you think of New York City, but you get just a little bit outside of New York City and you can be very quickly in like God's country. Like it is a beautiful beautiful state when you're not like in the city. Now, if you want all the hustle bustle and all that, then you've got, Queens, Brooklyn, all the wards, all that stuff. Like if you want all of the New York craziness, then you're good there. So on the border of northern New Jersey. Oh, okay. Wow. All right. Interesting. No, I don't think well, yeah, I guess depending on how you look at it. Yeah, Tom might be closer to Canada than I am, but oh yeah, he's in Windsor. My mother-in-law is just actually she's just on the outskirts of Windsor actually. So, as many of you guys know, my wife is actually Canadian, so that's why I get all the Canada jokes. Plus living in Wisconsin, it's easy. So, mm, man, two's good too. Even though it's very little in that one. So, Roger, you're only an hour from Canada. I know, like, all right, so like northern Ohio. How the hell would you only be an hour from? How would you only be an hour from Canada? Maybe I'm missing something. I don't know. Oh yeah, from that side. All right, from that side of things, you guys not that. I don't. That doesn't really count. Like I'm talking about like northern Canada. I'm not talking about like Windsor or anything like that. That's like being in Detroit for crying out loud. Like I don't know if that really totally counts. I mean, I'm sure it does technically, but if we're gonna talk like real Canada, that's get up there. That's way north. So yeah, Lake Erie. It's no joke. Oh yeah, gotta love the ambassador. I visited my mother-in-law last summer. So yeah, we were out there. So took the Ambassador Bridge across. So yeah, Windsor's nothing to necessarily write home about. That's for sure. So nothing, Timmy. Nothing wrong. Nothing wrong with Detroit. Nothing wrong. Oh boy, Lord. All right, Lord's like, come on, man. Let's wrap up this Canada talk. We got enough of your shit from tonight. So all right. So I think this is kind of how the order is going to be. Oh boy, 2 and 3 are kind of like flip-flopping for me, but 4 and 5 I think are set. I think 1 is set. So we'll stick with this for tonight, and we'll see how it all kind of wraps up. So all right, so let's do this. So let's grab the key and Laura's like, sorry, I just late to the stream. He's like, man, come on, wrap up. We had enough of your bullshit. Let's get this thing get the show on the road. I gotta go to bed or something. So sick of listening to this guy talk about Canada for crying out loud. I don't blame you. All right, so enough about Josh. Oh, jeez. You see all the guys from the sunshine states and stuff, or the states with all the sun, are like, we don't give a shit about Canada. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about the cold because we just get to bask in the sun all the time. So you guys, talk about your Canadian crap some other time. So All right. So let's do this. So in fifth place, I've got them all labeled on the bottom. So in fifth place is letter C. Oh, thank God, which is the Wild Turkey 101. So I feel already much better about that. No, I don't have maple syrup. Oh, I should start a YouTube channel about maple syrup. I could probably do that, but I mean, saying like you're going to be in Ontario is almost like saying you're just going to be in like 15 other states within the United States. I mean, Ontario is so large, but anyway, for another day. So, all right. So fifth place was the Wild Turkey 101. So let's see, letter A, which is the, all right, you guys are not going to like this. You guys are definitely not going to like this. But in fourth place is letter A, which is the Wild Turkey 70th. Man, I'm telling you what, it is just drinking very, very flat right now. There is nothing that is. I mean, even drinking it right now, like it is very sweet. It's soft. There's not a huge finish. There's definitely not the spice components or complexity of these other three by far. So I don't know, man. Like four is like relatively flat, man. I'm not even like bullshitting. Like it is soft. It just it's like the millennials of bourbon right now is what it feels like. A little bit soft. Sorry for you millennials out there, but there's nothing that is very overwhelming to me at all about it. So I don't know. It's what it is right now. It's how it's landing on my palate. It is just, it's good. It's sweet. Not a huge finish, to be honest. But it's what it is. I don't know what to tell you. So don't hate the player, okay? Yeah, I resemble that. Maybe it's the neck pour. Yeah, maybe it is. So like I literally just opened this thing today. So maybe it's not truly fair to whatever it is, but it is drinking. I'll tell you that. This is what I'll say. It's drinking a hell of a lot closer to regular Wild Turkey 101 than it is to 3, 2, or 1. I'm just saying. So it's fine. And I will give this thing a fair opportunity. I'll let this thing open up a little bit, have a couple more pours, see where it goes. But a neck pour, I did let the thing open up for, like I said before, about 20 minutes prior. It's flat. Like there's nothing that's super complex about this thing right now at all. So I don't know what to tell you. It is what it is. Is that D or B? I think it's B. Actually, I think it's D. Yeah, that's D. All right. So D is the Kentucky Spirit. All right. So this is kind of how I was thinking this was maybe going to shake out. I didn't know. I don't have any frame of reference for the 70th. So that was, it is what it is. I don't know what to tell you, but whatever. So, all right. In second place is letter. Oh, wait. Was that B? No, that was D. Was B, which is the Wild Turkey 8-year. The Wild Turkey 8-year is in second place. So, not quite or exactly kind of how I was thinking this thing was going to shake out, minus the 70th because I hadn't had that one. And letter E, which is the Russell's single barrel, was in first place. So not honestly not really bad. Like I thought this was probably how this one would shake out. Now, all right. Yes, I like the spice and balance. I like oak. I like spice. Those are two things that are big for me in bourbons. Like I know a lot of people really gravitate towards sweetness. and sweetness is not always something that I'm kind of chasing after. I like it, but I like a little bit of it to balance out like oak and spice. That's just me. So now, in fairness, this is a Mash and Journey Russells. I just grabbed one. I didn't even look at what this one is. This one is a 9-year. I think this was closer to almost let's see, 12. Yes, it's just on the verge of being 10 years, and it's a Camp Nelson E. So I don't want to say it was at an advantage, but we have, yeah, we do have a little bit of a ringer. So it wasn't set up. I didn't look at it. I promise you. I swear to God. I just grabbed one of them and to throw one in there because I didn't want there to be any bias. I don't have any other single barrels other than our picks. So does it surprise me necessarily that it finished first? No, but it's a great one. Again, it is a lot of spice. It's a lot of sweetness. It's just got that perfect balance, the spice, the sweetness, the oak, like everything that I enjoy. I think a lot of what Jason enjoys, that a lot of people enjoy. It had a perfect balance to it. So I think at the end of the day, like how these all kind of ranked, like, I mean, they're all like they're very, very good. I mean, it's just, it's kind of how I'm not surprised by how this all like really worked out. So it's very in line with, I think, my palate for the most part. So again, I feel good about it from that standpoint. Now, what I will say is I will go back to the 70th. I want to see how this one is going to open up a bit and see like really how this one kind of develops. Now, this was not, again, it says aged 8 years, but I'll tell you what, man, it was just drinking a little bit softer to me. And again, maybe that's the neck pour. Maybe that's just the fact that it hasn't had a huge chance to open up a little bit. But the Wild Turkey 8-year, just the 101, was drinking a little bit more complex, more developed than this was. Now, it wasn't far off, but like 1, 2, and 3 were more outliers than 4 and 5. So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it all shakes out. I'm looking forward to going back to the 70th a little bit. So, yeah, I don't know. Like right now, like Marty, I wasn't getting much of anything from that. And let's just chalk it up to it being a neck pour. Like tonight, I opened this thing up, poured it about 20 minutes prior to doing this. So, is that necessarily fair? No, we all know that, but we'll see how it all shakes out. I'll go back to it a couple times and see if this thing opens up and the bottle changes, and it really may. So anyway, that's what we've got. So you gotta love a good blind. So E equals Wild Turkey 2 is a very good. You know what? At the end of the day, these are all very, very good bottles. I'll say this, like Wild Turkey 101, maybe does it get a little bit of a bump or whatever you want to talk about. It's a great, in my opinion, it's a great cocktail like whiskey. I think there's enough behind it that allows for it to be good in a cocktail. I like the proof. There's enough to it that holds up in an old fashioned. So that's what I really like to use it for. With all the great whiskeys that are out there, I would say 100% of the time I'm really not sipping on Wild Turkey 101, to be honest. But at the end of the day, these other 4, you can mix these up really any other night. So I'm not surprised to see how the finish ended up, but I don't know. So we'll see. All right, what am I missing here? What's 42 to 50? I don't know what I'm missing here. Oh, 42 to 50, So, yeah, and I don't know what let's see what I paid. Whatever. I gave Marty $50 for the Wild Turkey 101 8-year. I'm fine with that. I don't know what the retail is. So, um I'm cool with that. Whatever that is, like it's a good whiskey. I mean, finishing second. So, you've got Russell's single barrel, which again, a little bit of a disadvantage with our Mash and Journey pick being in there, but I didn't know which one it was. I threw it in there to see how that would kind of factor in because I didn't have a shelf single barrel, but I don't know. We'll see. So, man, let's see what else we got here. Um, $20. Marty's just buying up all the he's just buying up all the Wild Turkey 8-years, just like making like $20 off everybody. I'm cool with it. I don't even care what he made. If he made anything, I don't know. But the Wild Turkey 8-year, it's a good little whiskey. At this point right now, would I select it over the 70th? I would. That's we'll see. We'll see how it all opens up, and I'll give it another week or two and go back to it a little bit, maybe even do a bit of a comparison with that one. So that'll be a fun video. So I'm planning on doing that video on Friday at some point. So we'll see. So I'm kidding. 40. We're just busting your balls, Marty. Yeah, nowadays, I don't know if you're going to find many 8-year bourbons that are probably going to be sub $50, to be honest, in all reality. It's just the way it is. But anyway, there you go. So, right or wrong, I don't know, like it, dislike it, I don't know. It is what it is. But that was kind of how it all finished tonight. So I think it was a fun blind. And I was really, to be honest, I was more excited to see where the 70th and just the regular 8-year would kind of finish. And, the 8-year finished, I think, maybe kind of close. I thought it was going to be in that 2-3 range, give or take. I thought this would win. Like, I thought the Russells would probably stand out enough because of just the overall like richness to it. And it did. But I was really excited or interested to see where these two would kind of finish. The Kentucky Spirit kind of fell a little bit flattish, but I don't know. We'll see. So it's like I said, any other day, these things can change based on what you eat or drink or whatever it may be. But it was a fun blind. I'm glad I did it. So now it kind of gives me a better idea of going into the review, what to expect, kind of knowing how I can set all of that stuff up, review it obviously as true as I possibly can, give you guys a fair representation of what that may be. But anyway, thanks everybody for joining tonight. I greatly appreciate all the support, you guys tuning in, all of that other stuff. So yeah, thanks again for all that. But anyway, so yeah, we'll figure out what we're going to do for next Tuesday. So I think I want to start doing a few more of these blinds. These are kind of fun. Got to maybe get with a few other people, see if we can set some stuff up. Maybe a good Mash and Journey blind. We should do another one. Maybe we'll bring Solidarity number 2 back. I'll talk to Jason a little bit about that and see what this has got. But yeah, so Marty will be he'll be live on Thursday. So he'll be doing his lives on Thursday. Everybody keeps backing out on Tuesdays. Nobody wants anything to do with Tuesday anymore. But thanks, guys. I truly appreciate all the support. Means the world to me. And thanks for hanging out for almost an hour and a half tonight on a good old Tuesday night. So Top Jimmy, thanks for sending out all the memberships to everybody. Enjoy those. Those will be fun. But I appreciate all the support, you guys hanging out tonight and indulging me for an hour and a half. So thanks again, guys. Appreciate everything. We'll see you guys next Tuesday. And remember, it's about the journey and not the destination. Cheers. Appreciate all the support. We'll see you guys next Tuesday. Have a good evening.